Hello, I am Dr. R.J, Monster Veterinarian, and I am here to answer your questions about your monster, cryptid, or kaiju. Strange questions about strange creatures. So, let us begin. I have here my first question, and it is from Victor Knudsen, I hope I pronounced that right, and Cat. I assume that is his wife, not an actual talking cat, although I have come across a few demonic talking cats in my day. Victor Knudsen and Cat from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They say, our town is having a monster parade and pageant. I love those. They are so good for the self-esteem of your monster. Bravo to your town. Uh, our son asked us to get him a Slender Man for the show because he wants a cool and trendy monster for the show. They are very popular with the kids these days, I must admit, so that's a good choice. Well, we got our Slender Man, and he was very intimidating at first. At first. Now, however, our Slender Man is getting fat. Well, this is kind of strange. He discovered human food, and he won't stay away from it. We had to get an alarm for the fridge because he's always got his face in the leftovers. Slender Man drool in the refrigerator is gross. Yuck. We tried locking the refrigerator, but then we got angry phone calls from the neighbors because they found our Slender Man raiding their pantry. He ran out with a boiled chicken in his hands. Well, that could cause some problem with the neighbors, I do admit. Yesterday we heard some children screaming outside. What happened? It seems our Slender Man chased all the children away from the ice cream truck and started to devour everything inside. And the ice cream man was afraid to stop him. Well, I don't blame him. They're pretty tall, those Slender Men. So we had to reimburse him for 30 vanilla cones. I do like vanilla cones myself. He's gotten so heavy, we've had to let his clothes out several times. My son is upset because no one wants a portly Slender Man in their parade. Now, I guess I can see why some people would be disappointed by that. How do we get our Slender Man to skip the snacks and go on a diet? Heavily concerned in Milwaukee, Victor and Kat from Wisconsin. Well, Victor and Kat, first of all, before I go on to your problem, congratulations to your town for having a monster parade and pageant. Those are wonderful. They're really good for your monster's self-esteem. This is a bit of trivia you might not know. The very first monster parade was in Chicago in 1871. Yeah, that fire kind of put a damper on monster activities for a while. Dragons get excited in crowds, what can I say? But I'm glad they're making a comeback, and good on your town for doing that. Now, as far as your Slender Man's insatiable sweet tooth and his newly gluttonous habits, it is strange because Slender Men by nature tend to want to be very slender. They like to be slim and trim and fit. They're like supermodels, anorexia is the word of the day. The skinnier the better. So this is an odd problem. So what can you do about it? Well, I would say the first option would be to find yourself a slender woman, because what makes a guy want to get in shape more than meeting a woman? And I have to tell you that slender women can be very sassy and snarky and sarcastic, and they will tell a guy when he's letting himself go. So that might help to motivate him. Now, if you don't want to buy or adopt a slender woman, you can always foster one just until the show. Just monitor them a bit, otherwise you might end up with a lot of slender babies, and those things can really eat. If you think a slender man can eat, wait till you see a slender baby. I mean, how do you think they get so tall? So that's one option. Another alternate idea is to tell your Slender Man that there are a group of kids across town that he can stalk and scare, and he will want to get there right away. I mean, tell him that he's only got a few minutes and they're going to disperse, but don't give him a ride. So your Slender Man will have to run across town to get to these kids, and do that several times over the next few weeks until the monster, or whatever the next, whenever the monster pageant is. Just do that every day. Have your Slender Man be running to these different places. Don't give him a ride, and he won't have time to eat. He'll just be running all the time. So that should help ease the problem of his weight. Now, some people in town might think it's strange, and they might bitch a little bit about seeing a portly Slender Man running around town in the middle of the day looking for kids to scare. But just tell them, take it up with him. I bet you they won't. And remember, just think of the look in your son's eye when he has a slender man in that pageant and parade. It's going to be a great day for him, just as long as there's no fires. So, I hope that helps. Sean, what's your name? Kat and, Victor and Kat. All right, so now on to the next letter, which is from Sean and Mary Kate Thornton from County Kerry in Ireland. Now they write, my wife and I recently found ourselves in possession of a banshee. Not a very popular pet these days, but okay. It was left to us by my brother-in-law, Will, in his will, and my wife couldn't say no. Well, I guess that's tradition. Right? I've regretted taking her in since the first day. Uh-oh. She has this horrifying, terrifying scream. Well, yeah, it's a banshee. It even scares the leprechauns, and they're fearless. They are fearless, those leprechauns. They've started to bury their heads in their pots of gold to drown out the awful sound. That does sound uncomfortable. Yes. That banshee wail keeps us awake all night, and the kids are having such nightmares that even Freddy Krueger won't go into their dreams because it's too scary in there. Wow. Our neighbors are so disturbed by that horrible sound that they've put a giant bell on their lawn to drown out the sound, and they've hired a deaf hunchback to ring it repeatedly. Well, it's work for the hunchback. Our chickens are so scared they keep escaping from their coop and running to the local slaughterhouse to have their heads chopped off, and we have to keep bringing them back. Talk about being chicken. It's so hard to enjoy eating when our banshee stands near the table begging for food with that blood-curdling scream. I guess that would be very unappetizing. It's so shrill it shatters the glass bowl that has the soup in it. When I'm trying to shave, he shatters my mirror. We had to get a family pack of noise-canceling earbuds. My own mother won't call me on the phone anymore because of that damn background noise. When she stopped by to visit the grandkids, she took her hearing aid off, put it on the ground, and stomped on it. How do we get this loudmouth to shut up? Quietly desperate in Kerry, Sean and Mary Kate from Ireland. Sean and Mary Kate, you are finding out now why banshees are not very popular domestic monsters anymore. They're great for being out in the field, for scaring away wolves and cattle rustlers from your farm animals, but they're not indoor pets. When you have them inside your house, trouble. I mean, when both the leprechauns and the poultry agree that it's time to make a break for it, you know you've got a big problem on your hands. So, what to do about it? Well, the solution, as in many things with monsters, is in the cooking, in the food, yes. Now, the answer is in this book, Cooking for Cryptids and Creatures. Cooking for Cryptids and Creatures by Four Horsemen Publications, $9.99. It's a great book with all kinds of great recipes in there. If you want to know how to prepare blood for your vampire, it's all right in there, right in that book. So it's a wonderful book to have. I recommend it for any monster owner. And the chapter you want to look for is the chapter on Nothing Muffins. Nothing Muffins. They were invented by Grandpa Monster in November of 1965, I believe. Little parenthetical, little bit of trivia here, apropos of nothing. That was the first Christmas I can ever remember. I was 2 years old in the Christmas of 1965. And my parents bought me a ghost. Yes, it was very touching. They bought me my first ghost. Unfortunately, it turned out to be a ghost of Christmas future, and it showed me my death. It was very upsetting. But anyway, it made me want to be a monster veterinarian. Don't ask. But anyway, that's beside the point. Get that cookbook and cook up those Nothing Muffins. Feed them to your banshee. Any way you can get him to eat, get her to eat them, do that. Because once you feed those Nothing Muffins to your banshee, you know what will come out? Exactly, nothing. It's all in the name, Nothing Muffins. So cook them up, feed them, and your banshee will be quiet. Because it's the only way you're going to get your banshee to be quiet. It's the only thing that will stop them from talking. Well, that and when they're watching their favorite reality show, Screaming Banshees of Ireland. But besides that, nothing muffins. That's the key to everything. So I hope that helps Sean and Mary Kate from Ireland. And as for me, that's all the time I have for now. I have another patient waiting in my study. I have a mummy in there. It's an Aztec mummy who is feeling some self-esteem problems about not being as cool as the Egyptian mummies. Maybe he needs a parade. Well, anyway, I have to go attend to that. So that's it for me this week. I have been Dr. R.J, Monster Veterinarian, and I was here to answer your questions about your monster, cryptids, or kaijus. Strange answers to strange questions about strange creatures. I will be back next week with more, and until then, have a monster of a great day.